What's going on? My name's Jacob. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing y'all how to install plugs. Super simple, very universal. If you're in the United States, you'll probably see the same exact thing. This is a plug. This is a Decor plug. The house we're doing right now, we were told to install duplex plugs, just looks a little different. These are a little bit more fancy, a little more expensive, but it got changed around, so they now want these. So that's what we're doing right now. Yeah, let's get after it. To get started. Okay, tools you need are obviously your plugs. You're also going to need a pair of strippers of some sort. Romex strippers is probably what you're going to need. If they're not cut in how we cut them in. We cut them in where all you need is the 12 and 14. But a knife and regular strippers will also do the trick. But here we go. So off the rip, here's how we have them set up. This is just how we've always done it. Kind of open it up to show you. Oh, let me get it straight. So your grounds are made into one with a crimper, copper crimper. And then your wires are just cut to length. All these wires are going to be a little short because, like I was saying before, we already had a pre-existing plug in here. It's a new construction, but we put it in probably like a week ago, and then they didn't like it, I guess, and now we're changing it. So this is number 12 wire. It's 12-2 Romex. So on your strippers, you have a spot that strips 12 and one that strips 14. 14 is a smaller gauge, 12 is the bigger one. So what you do is you get it on where the 12 gauge is and strip it back like 3/4 of an inch. And do that to all of them. Make sure there's no power on the house. Shouldn't be if you don't have plugs in yet. And then what you do is they have these little holes in them right here. Those are to cut, the ones that, if you close them, the ones that stay open are the ones you're using. These right here are to cut screws. Those are to cut screws. These right here are for bending wire. So you put it in the hole and then bend, make sure y'all can see this, bend you a loop. And do that with all of them. Keep them open so you can still put them on screws, something like that. What you like is the jacket to be about in line with where it's bent at. So that's about what you want to see, and do it with the ground as well. If there's paint on them, just brush that paint away. As long as it's not fully covered, it should be good. Then what you do, you have your plug here. And then very important to remember is the color of the screws. So gold screws are for the black wires, and silver screws are for the white wires. That's how you'll see plugs if you're in the United States. I don't know how it is in other places, but that's how it is. Gold goes to black and silver goes to white. And the bare copper goes to green. That's your ground. So what you do, you put it on the screw, then with your strippers, just clamp it together a little bit, and then tighten it down. And then do that with your neutrals. This ain't got to be done in no specific order. Just get them in there and tighten them. You can do it one at a time, bam, 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 or you can put them both in and then tighten them down. And then another important thing to remember is these loops are important which way they're turning. You don't want them like turning, you want them turning like how J is, not backwards. Because when you're putting it in and you tighten it down, that screw is turning clockwise. So whenever you tighten it down, whenever you tighten it up, that screw's gonna turn it and twist it even tighter. If it's the other way, then it's gonna kind of just loosen the screw up. Or loosen the bend up, sorry. Get it in there, tighten it up. And then what you wanna do is I like to just bend the wires up and then push them back. So bend them up and then push them back. Another important thing to watch out is you gotta keep this ground separate from your neutrals and your hots. Keep it pushed in the back of the box as far as possible. And then just take it, screw it in, keeping it straight. This side as well. Get these wings just snugged up with the drywall. Make sure it's lined up, and that's a plug right there. And then when you have plates just simply go on there. Two flathead screws, and then the plate goes on super simple. We're just getting pre-power right now, so we don't need plates. We're just trying to get these plugs in. The next one, I'll just show y'all a few times just to get y'all a good idea of how it goes. Pull your wires out. Get them straight so they'll strip easy. Grab your strippers. This one's a little bent on the end. Strip about 3/4 of an inch. And then bend the hooks, bend them clockwise, just like that. Do that with all of them, even the ground. Take your plug, put it on, pinch the wires together. Crimp them, press them together if they need to be pressed together. You're not doing these super tight, just a few clicks from an impact will do it. You don't want to be stripping the screws. Sorry, seeing who was here. Few clicks. Trying to keep this ground out of the way. Very important, because what happens if you don't keep the ground out of the way, if you push it up and somehow the ground gets to where it's like touching the neutral or touching the hot, it'll start tripping the breaker. And then you're gonna have a lot of fun of where you're trying to find out where it's touching And then you get into troubleshooting, and that's a totally different ball game right there. Get it in, snug with the drywall, get the bottom in. Tighten it down. A little off, you can stick your bit in there and kind of just push it over. Another one. Then you'll start getting faster with it. Speed is number one. And another thing, when you're putting these on, it don't matter which neutral or which hot is where right here. They're both connected with, give you something to point. They're both connected with this little piece of metal right here at the end of my strippers. So they're both going to the same spot, so it don't matter. Oops, got a fucking wallet. So it don't matter where they go on the device. Ground out of the way. Kind of lift your wires up, push in at the same time. Keep your ground wire out of the way. Number one. Get it in there. And then if you do see something, like I don't like how these wires are kind of close to that wall. It's not like nothing can happen, but it just helps it straighten up. So you can kind of get like your strippers in there to turn it. Tighten it up. Make sure it's straight. And if you don't make sure it's straight, then when you put your plate on, it just won't look good and it'll be very, very just off. So now we will be replacing them with the Decor. These are just the fancier version. These are the cheaper version, but they're still nice. That's typically what you see. You really only see these in nicer houses, or unless it's a specific request. So what you do, you take your screws out, take it out, kind of pull it out, see what you're working with. There's a couple different ways to do this. And I'll show y'all both. The first way is to just cut your wires. If you plan on reusing these, then this is not the best way. But if these are just trash, then you can just cut the wires. As long as your wires are long enough where you have the slack to cut them. Then what you do is you take it, strip it back about 3/4 of an inch. All of them, strip back all of them. And then what you're gonna do is on your strippers, there's a little hole right here. This hole is to cut screws. So if you close them and they get covered up, that's not the holes. These holes right here, where even if you cover them, they are still, they're still showing. Those are the holes, not those. So you're gonna take your strippers and then kind of build a hook clockwise. Very important that it's clockwise. Bend a hook for all of them. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your plug and then hook it on there. Same thing as before, white to silver screws. Kind of clamp them down there. White to silver, and then black to gold. Clamp them down if they need it. Then tighten it down just a few clicks. And then push your ground out of the way, like before. Kind of push it in there. Push these wires up and this wire back. Kind of keep them separated. Push it in there. And then screw it down. Make sure it's straight and snugged up with the drywall on the top and the bottom. And then that's how you replace them. Just remember that when you pull it out, if there is enough slack to cut them off, just cut them off. But another way of doing it is if there isn't enough slack, like say this one did not have, like it's kind of short right now, then what you do is you just back your screws out, back all your screws out, and then take your strippers and then kind of grab a hold of the end of the wire and then just pull it out. On ones like this where they're cramped or clamped together, kind of just got to get in there. You can also use needle nose pliers if that is a struggle, and then kind of keep your hooks bent because you will be reusing them again. Grab the end. Pull it out. That one didn't want to come. Same for your ground. Won't come out. You can also pull it from the back, and then that's how you get it. And then you still have your device that's still good, and you got your wires. You didn't need to cut none of them. You have your hooks already bent into them. Super simple. This right here is a good method because you keep your hooks, and then that eliminates one of the steps of having to strip them back, bend new hooks in them. That way your hooks are already bent. And then you're ready to throw in a new receptacle. But that's it. Appreciate y'all watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.